So, where is the current landscape of the Canadian cannabis industry, and where is it going over the next 12 months? Tap on the screen to find out more. This is the Dales Report, and have to be joined with the CEO of Adastra Holdings, Michael Forbes, back to the podcast. Michael, what's going on?
Oh, just living the dream out here in the West Coast. Thanks for having me on the show again, Chad. It's great to be back.
Appreciate it. Those that are watching, Adastra Holdings trades on the CSC under the ticker symbol XTRX. So let's begin. I know since last time we spoke, want to refresh my audience. When you're basically talking about being a leader in the Canadian cannabis landscape, more acquisitions have been made on your end since we last spoke. You just announced a definitive agreement with Sitka Weedworks regarding the supply of premium craft cannabis. For those that don't know, Sitka is Canada's largest micro park with 51 micros specializing in quad craft cannabis. So this is what consumers want. It achieves up to 34% in THC levels. So walk us through what does this agreement, I guess, mean overall for your portfolio?
So as the market shifts, we want to be shifting with it. So there's been definitely an increased demand for, full spectrum, higher THC craft cannabis. And I happen to be the owner of Sitka, and so it makes it a very easy, friendly deal to do with Adastra so that we can have excellent West Coast legacy craft, which fits amazingly well into the legacy brand of Phyto Extractions. So it's kind of it's a no-brainer. We got a great deal with very very fair price of biomass that will be formulating into our premium line for Adastra, which would be the Phyto Black and Gold, and that's just working its way through the lab now, and I'm anticipating we'll have that out in this next quarter to consumers.
Nothing better than BC Bud, isn't there? 34% THC. That is, I would think, a big seller, is it not?
Yeah, we sell out in minutes. So we just got into the OCS, which is one of the harder provinces to get into, and they were blown away. They just absolutely loved what we were doing, and we told them, we sell out in minutes in BC, minutes in Alberta, minutes in Saskatchewan, so be ready to put in some big orders. So yeah, it's great. It's exciting.
So knowing that we've outlined this announcement, let's circle back and maybe recap to investors the scale of where your portfolio of cannabis brands and extractions are sold throughout Canada, and where Sitka Weeds, I guess, works or fits into that equation.
Yeah, I mean, it's accretive to our selection. So we want to be producing. We're adding a whole pile of SKUs over the next year. We're really focused on hitting $5 million a month in sales here at Adastra, and so we want to be, the people's choice of value cannabis and extracts, but we also want to hit that higher end consumer as well, and the consumer that wants that full spectrum. And we're identifying that the market is shifting towards more craft, and so it just makes a heck of a lot of sense to have Sitka.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Craft is front and center. I think obviously as this industry is rolled out, no surprise with the nature of conversation, a lot of these multi-state operators building on size and scale. The product is shit, and people will flat out say that. But you keep talking about craft being at the forefront. What have your sales been like over the past few months? Because I know last time we had you on, you were performing very strongly.
Yeah, we're rocking. Like I'm a very, I like to say, cheap and cheerful operator. So like superfluous waste. And we've now shaved off $100,000 a month in expenses. And we've actually increased our sales again by another 30% or so. We had a record month of almost 70,000 units came out of the here. And we're hitting it out of the park. We're cash flow positive. We are expanding into new markets, and we're expanding into new SKUs. So, yeah, it's full throttle over here. Yeah.
What do you think is the message that? And I know a lot of people have talked about. Anytime I see a story on Forbes, it's talking about how the multi-state operators are doing decent fundamentally wise, and how all these big Canadian companies just totally lost the opportunity, and the Canadian landscape is just not in a good situation. What's the message that you want to communicate to people as to what you're doing and what the future holds for this market?
Well, I think being a self-made entrepreneur, I've always been the last guy to eat at the table. So I've cut my teeth learning in highly regulated, competitive environments like medical clinics and pharmacies, and so it translates very well over to be you gotta be watching your pennies and nickels, so the dollars will follow. It's just being a disciplined operator and not having superfluous expenses. We're selling a commodity, right? It's like there's so much regulation in this marketplace that if you're not being a low cost producer or running an efficient team, you're not going to make it. And it's going to show itself more and more over time as who the better operators are and who can balance a checkbook and who can't.
Yeah. Where do you think, I guess, this market is related to cannabis, let's say in the next 12 months?
I think I look at some of the great companies out there and some of the partners we have, and they have, I think cannabis is at a low right now. If you look at the valuations are in the markets, because you have some good companies that are coming out with amazing EBITDA and cash flow, and they're just crushing it. They got strong balance sheets.
I know.
And the stock is going down, so it's it's just the sentiment right now. I think everybody's, following other shiny objects right now in terms of investing. And I think it'll come back to cannabis. I think it'll be a big tailwind when the US finally legalizes.
It's, and I think that's coming, and I think that's actually going to come a lot quicker than what people think. But some of the things that you just can't predict in this industry, there was a little bit of a hint this morning about safe banking could be coming in the next, month or two. And then you look at the Canadian cannabis stocks, and they're up bigger than the U.S. stocks. And I'm like confused as to how you can predict this sort of thing. But it's just, I just think it's a lack of education. I think when people really understand the overall industry right now and what's at hand. And when I look at your company, obviously a lot more sophisticated, came in, saw a lot of mistakes that were being made, focusing on what the consumers want, which is craft. In addition to that, I did want to talk about your Phyto Extractions acquisition as well. So the closing of this acquisition actually gives you now relationships in over 1,400 retail stores across the country, which obviously you're going to hope to leverage in your benefit. So can you touch, I guess, maybe on some of the synergies you expect to take place to add flower and product in SKUs and retailers throughout Canada?
Yeah, we have an amazing sales force, and that acquisition kind of brought everybody under one house. So we had it was more streamlined and concise, and it was just bringing it all under one umbrella. And so it's pretty amazing how many retailers we're in. We're probably in over 1,500, if not 1,600, and the goal is to be in all of them. And so we've got boots on the ground in every province, and we're hungry, and it's going to be a great pivot to start selling flower and other specialty and other brands through those retail chains. And so, again, we've got to hit that 5 million a month in sales, and we're going for it. Yeah, we want to be the biggest name in extractions in Canada, and we're going to do that. We already are, and we're going to add to that success with adding more SKUs through flower and medical.
So when I look at some of your brands, like for example, Sitka, is it available in BC, or will it be available across the country?
We sell out so quickly with Sitka, but as every micro gets built and comes online, we will be doing 300 million a year annual out of that park. And Sitka is the LP, but it's a synergy with all the legacy growers. So we interviewed over 400 legacy growers and picked the best of the bunch to fill up this park. And so you have some of the best guys in the game that are coming, that have been growing cannabis in the legacy market for their whole lives, and they're pivoting into the white, and we're that facilitator to make it happen. And so linking up with Adastra gives us that horsepower to be able to
Right.
Process and extract all the trim and excess product that comes through there. It's a monster.
So when I look at growth, I look at Sitka, and then also last month, your popular vape products received, as you said, product listing from the OCS, Ontario Cannabis Stores, and just recently, additional branded concentrate products officially listed in the Yukon. So your products are now available in 5 provinces, 1 territory. You said Sitka sells up fast, but when you look at some of this other stuff, what do you think, I guess, is your goal as far as achieving distribution, I guess, across the country by 2022?
Yeah, again, we're leveraging that sales force and that position we already have in the retailers and expanding that. Like I think the OCS now is over 1,000 retailers. And so, there's a lot of growth still that we can go. And by adding these new SKUs and new product lines into our existing footprint is going to get us to that 5 million a month in sales.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Well,
yeah,
it's very exciting. I think anything like if this, you got investor fatigue right now, but it's a lot of the dog days, I guess, of the industry. But you see a lot of companies basically producing on pure fundamentals. And when we finally get some announcements related to legislation, I can't help but think it's going to be a very, very incredible time for the industry, and probably even bigger than what it was 4 or 5 years ago. Do you agree with that?
I do. Yeah, like I've been buying Adastra stock myself, so I'm putting my money where my mouth is, and I believe that the next 2-3 years is going to be amazing. Again, like Adastra is a debt-free, cash flow positive company that it matters, and we're nimble and we're aggressively expanding into more and more markets and SKUs. So it's going to be good. It's going to be a good run.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep in touch and keep up the great work. It sounds like things are definitely pacing in the right direction, but we'll get our day soon with this industry, will we not?
Absolutely. Well, I hope to see you in Vegas there.
I'll see you there. Yeah. I'll see you at the roulette table.
Right.
Thanks, Michael.
Take care. All right,
take care.
Bye.
Hey everyone, Chad Dales here from the Dales Report. As you know, I interview a lot of CEOs and entrepreneurs every single day. So today, as a way of saying thank you for watching, I want to give away $500 cash to one lucky follower. How do you enter into the contest? It's super simple. Tap on the screen to get all the contest details, and always remember, the more actions you take, the more entries you get at winning the $500 cash. And don't forget to come back to this channel on Wednesday, October the 27th at 4:30, where we will be live streaming and announcing the winner. Good luck to everyone.